find the right tool.
So the family, it's not just a significant other, it's not just a spouse, it's a daughter, a cousin, sons, grandparents, the whole dynamic, right? Everybody pays a price, but that is the price you pay. My father was a severe alcoholic. Mitch?
I agree with the toolbox thing. That person wants to talk about it.
Right.
Forcing the law, kind of force that heavy.
So do you push them to try to get to a clinic? Do you push them to try to get some help?
Push that one person. They try to move on.
Right.
They have to want help.
One person they trust to try to get the help. In the meantime, what about the rest of the triggers? PTSD, what do you deal with that? The veteran says, I don't have PTSD, or yeah, I might have a case of it, but it's not bad enough, or maybe it is. What do I do with that? So now we got two
Be
issues.
there with them to love and support them, to show them, help guide them through their bad times, even the good times too. So that way you don't melt away. Because there's times that I have good days with my son, and then there's times where I have bad days with my son. Because he's just unruly. I try to hold myself back from yelling and screaming, which I do a really good job at. The only thing is, he's got a stick in his hand. Oh, don't go down around him, because he's hot all over the place.
So we can agree that in a normal household that has these kind of issues, the dilemma becomes a lot more.
Can't do the work, I can only do so much. So go do what you gotta do. And I've had veterans come back a year later, dear Robert, I'm ready to do it. I got my medical records I need. I got everything you asked me to do. I'm now ready. But I didn't go anywhere. I still love them, still there to support them, but I have to hold them accountable because I can't go to the doctor's appointments. I can't do the work for them. I can still be there supporting what he said. I can still be there. And if they come back a year later, still here, let's get it done. I didn't go anywhere. I just held them accountable for what needs to be done.
You can support them on their journey, but you can't fight for them until they're ready.
It's complicated things a little bit. Have a little post-traumatic stress disorder on resting. Wife and husband are having an argument. She says, I'm tired of this PTSD. You say, I don't have any PTSD. Maybe a little, but that's not it. You did this story the other day that pissed me off. Anybody got anything they can identify with a story kind of like that? Anybody get into an argument with your spouse because maybe just it is part of the rest of the service country? How do the spouses, Mitch?
Well, go back to the previous question. At the Marcus Institute, so I went into PBI and PTSD. You told me that you really, no scientific measure between the two, because the symptoms are the same. Can I show you the symptoms of PTSD and TBI? And I think you're like one off, but the rest of the list is exactly the same.
So how many people that didn't go to the Marcus Institute yet came home with your rating and acknowledgement that you have PTSD and that maybe some of the symptoms you have are because of that? Anybody ever have an argument with your spouse or a family member because of PTSD, or if they said you got PTSD and, give me a break? Is that an issue in a family dynamic?
I had it the other way around.
How so?
I was going to VA for self-help, didn't account for 9 years. Everyone said that I had something to PTSD. I took that home. My wife, she's not the medical service, so she's like, that's bullshit. So I had to kind of explain things to her and actually invite her to one of my counseling sessions so that my counselor can kind of explain things to her and bounce it all off.
It's good to have the dialogue though, isn't it? You don't have the dialogue even if it's a fight. At least you're having some discussion, calm it down, and try to talk things out. Let's throw in VA benefits. Anybody think they were deserving of a higher rating in their VA benefits and didn't get it? What was your reaction? Were you happy? You pissed off? You take it off on the family? One more issue? Yes? No?
I'm doing it.
How so?
I got out. I did my paperwork. Got 60%. But I was cool.
You were good with 60?
Because I prepared myself to not have
And what does VA compare it to? Are you worthy of fighting for the other 40%?
Right.
Because you got your legs, that's a good thing.
what I got, so I deserve. Who am I?
You represent the norm. You represent the norm of, I'm glad I got that. I understand, I think that's fair. But if you really pare it down, how many years did you do in the military? Where were you? Did you do multiple tours? Well, how many factors can come into the equation? There's going to be a story for everybody that's in this room at different levels. You might have come home with anger issues. You might have come home with other things. Didn't relate to a TBI. Did you even get an evaluation for a TBI? Because until organizations like Marcus and others came on board, people were thinking, well, it's just, battle fatigue, they used to call it years ago. Now you come home to a family dynamic, kids are a little bit older, don't understand where you were. Hey, Dad, how come you took off? You're trying to explain, Mom's doing everything she can, taking care of the family, miss her husband, wishing she had more help. You understand why we got the dynamic with you, right? So is the VA responsible for all of that? Do they help? On a scale of 1 to 10, just want to see a show of hands, study class. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being, man, when I came home, I got the best treatment, I got the best opportunities from the VA. I don't have anything bad to say about them. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is 10. Wait, no hands?
Well, okay. So there's a saying, if you've been to one VA, then you've been to one VA. And every VA is run by its own, they have their own leadership, their own rules, their own, so there's no consistency. I was extremely fortunate. I have not ever had a problem with the VA.
Good.
I got out, I did all my evaluations, I got 100% TNP, and my life has been, I have no private insurance. All of my care comes through the VA. I've had a good experience. I think the VA is overrun. I think that it is corrupt in many states and many VAs across the country. And so there are a lot of bad VAs out there. There are a lot of veterans that are not receiving the services that they need. But there are the VAs that do provide the care that we need. And so when we have this conversation about the VA, I think it's really important that while we acknowledge the deficits of the VA, every veteran should be connected to a VA.
Is there anybody that's not?
So there's another pause to this. It's not just the VA. So from my experience working with Fort Carson and some of the others, it's the command. So I'll give you a personal experience. So in 1990, I had my car accident. That's where my TBIs came from. So because of that, 30 days later, I had my first suicide attempt in service. But I was still considered combat ready for 277 Armor to prep for going to Desert Storm. Then when Desert Storm was over, we had troop reduction. So they go, oh, you have a character disorder, and they discharged me. 7 years, I went through 8 suicide attempts. My 8th suicide, and in there was a double one where I did 2 in one day and died, and I'm still here. So I got the hint. I'm here for a reason. So in 1998, that was my 8th attempt. I was admitted to the VA, and a doctor goes, you have a TBI. This is what your problem is. And helped me on the progress of medications, the therapies. And 2016 was my 9th attempt, but that was because my medication was screwed up and it spiraled me down of control. But we fixed that one too, because there should have been no reason for it except it was medication. But we identified it, we fixed it. And even though I still struggle with suicide ideations, but my command was like, oh, we don't know what it is. In my opinion, the reason TBIs are more awareness is because of football. We had football players who were killing people, who were committing suicide. And because they were in such a limelight, people started asking the question, why? And then they started going, well, when you knock heads together like that, it's a TBI. Well, then the military leads slowly pick that up and go, oh, maybe that's why half of our soldiers are committing suicide and lashing out with anger and having problems. And that's where I got awareness. And so like I said, it also starts command, because even now, command will go, yeah, we're not doing the medical, the VA will take care of you. Yeah, here's your discharge, have a nice day. They don't know what questions to ask. They don't go through their out properly. So it's not just the VA, it's also the command. But I've also had good commands who go, here's your paperwork. The first sergeants will yell at them for not filling out their VA paperwork. So there's a bigger problem that we all have to make sure. But what I do with my veterans is I give awareness. And I've talked to you and a couple of you got to take charge of your own health care. we can give you the tools. I can have you walk through community care, but if you don't make those phone calls and figure out why you haven't received the phone call, it's your fault. Because one of the problems are we as soldiers, when we're told the VA will take care of us and they're going to call us back, 3 months later, it's like, well, have you got the call? No. What are you waiting on? Well, they said they'd call me. Because we're told in the service, we will be told, we'll tell you when we're ready. So we sat on our asses waiting for that phone call. Now we're in the civilian world. You know what? 48 hours. If you haven't heard about your community care, you need to call the number. You need to keep asking questions. 2 weeks later, why haven't you heard? But you do it, I do it. We're starting to learn those things, and that's where it's coming from.
That's my point. That's
And
my
then he got a question because he's been waving at me for so long. So
I'm sorry.
So, we all, signing out your service. Does it, what happens with this? Some people came home without legs or in a wheelchair, and some of those did. Does that mean that the ones who are in a wheelchair get more sacrifice?
No. Does anybody feel yes to that question?
No, and as a Gold Star mom, I'm gonna answer that. I'm glad you came, first of all. Thank you for defending my country. Thank you for defending me. And thank you for being the kind of person that my son probably wanted to fight next to. No, you also came home. Just because your injuries are not visible does not mean they're not there. Don't ever question yourself on this.
Well, because, I'm sorry, because I was just off of what you said, you feel like 60% was enough. Because you have time.
Like I have since, so it took me 7 years, and I got my
Okay.
It took a lot of people to be like, what is wrong with you? This is all you have to do. Like, a lot of things going on. Who am I? And I was, hey, you don't deserve this. This is good. I felt my mistake. I minimized what I did. And compared to
And let me clarify it a little further. The objective
Sorry,
is
take a pause real quick. Online, if you guys have anything to say, make sure you raise your hands and we'll get to you.
online. The reason I asked the question is because you all deserve, you stepped up to take the pledge. You served honorably. You were in the less than 0.5% of the country who served. Our personal want over the years has been to figure out how to get the best resources in the country. Robert is kind of a unique creature over there because he's got a brain that works in an incredible way. And he took the time through his own experiences and his own, in honor of the rest of the people who have served, to learn that process and help guide and direct so that it minimizes the anguish and the frustration you usually have when you call. And whether it's, I got my 60% and it took me 7 years to get to 100%, or I had the best experience in the history of mankind with the VA, God bless it, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking to get the people who have taken that pledge to get everything they're entitled to. Personally, opinion mine, it would be nice to have a lot less bureaucracy.
Yeah.
It would be nice to not have to call Robert 12 times to say, Robert, I know you can't take care of everybody in this room today, but he'll do his best to take them as he can. He's one guy. We don't have the resources. I want them to have the resources. Somewhere along the line, we need to do a better job of some of these things. I'm just trying to make the point that if you all come here and you're struggling and you're arguing and your suicidal ideations aren't what they are, and you get major feedback from someone like Rajani who can tell you how to overcome these things, that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to bring resources to people. That's why we want to reach out to the people online. We want them to know there's another place to go, that there are 7 triggers. That's what we are positive about. That's over the 20 years we've concluded. Suicidal ideations at the top. Not worthy of being here. Post-traumatic stress disorder, drug and alcohol addiction, fighting with the VA to get my benefits, isolation, relationship dissonance, marriage is coming home. Where have you been? Don't you understand? I've been home with the babies all this time. You got home from your leave. Take the babies. Give me a break. They're entitled to that. They work their ass off for it, just like you worked your asses off for them. We're trying to find some objectivity. Financial assistance. Why is everybody in need of financial assistance? Let alone the country is changing. And it's changing and you can't afford a house. And now people come back pissed. but I served my country and now I got these injuries and maybe my brain isn't working the way it's supposed to. Does that mean you did something wrong? No, you served your country. We want to get the best we can. We want to reach out to anybody we can because they're pissed off. They're sitting there and they're dying. They seem to figure that killing themselves is the solution. American
So-
hero.
So I also want to clarify, and so everybody, if you don't understand the duties of a VSO, so we're a veteran service officer. We do not just do the benefit side, the percentage side. So when I go to school every year, we go over healthcare, we go over education, we go over spousal expenses, burial expenses, vocational rehab, how to buy a house. Those are everything. We are not limited in our training. Most people think as a VSO, I'm going to get you your percentage or I'm going to help you through that, and that's it. So when you go, I have been a financial problem, I have resources depending on the states, and we build that stuff to refer you to it. Also, like with this gentleman, he's got a great VSO. So I gave him my card and said, if you got questions, something doesn't seem right, I will pull out my book of regs and we'll flip through and verify. Because too many vets go to the hospital and a guy goes, I got 100%, you should be 100%. Because they think they have the same situation. They don't. There's little nuances or whatever. So I always go back to the facts. I pull up the VA regs and we go, what's in it? Where do you qualify and what it is? There's a VSO group that I follow that we all communicate. And you're right, there's a lot of people like you. Well, he lost a leg. And right now, the biggest discussion we're going through is sleep apnea. The sleep apnea right now is, as it's rated, 50%. If you lose a leg, I'm not counting the additional money you get for a lost limb, you're rated at 30%. Tell me what's fair about that. It's not. What the VA is trying to do is bring sleep apnea down to a reasonable level. So if you have sleep apnea and a CPAP or a BPAP will not work, you die. So yes, you should be rated at 50%. But if you can get a device the VA pays for and upkeeps, then maybe you should be at a 20 or a 30. Because I'm sorry, if I lose my leg and the best they can give me is an additional $200 for a lost limb and a 30%, that's a little fucked up. But we discuss all that. But there is more to it because also you use your GI Bill and you're 2 semesters away from getting your bachelor's or your associate's degree. I can refer you to vocational rehab and we can finish out your degree. Because vocational rehab wants to get you a degree that can make money. Now, there are caveats. Because if you got one in humanitarian science or finger painting, they won't vocational because it's to get you a job. So if you've got a normal one, they will, and they're expanding a lot of that. So that's more than just what you think a VSO does. I get questions. I get a case with a lady right now near one of my towns in Bethany because she divorced her husband, got an award for his retirement, and now I'm helping her progress through DFAS to make sure that because he has gone down the wrong path of alcohol and drugs and doesn't want to pay his child support and everything else. Well, with DFAS and the award, but that's my job. I help them navigate that. We as VSOs do a lot more than just what you think we do. We're at least trained for it, let's put it that way. Right now, we're working on that. I'm still working with them to get that access, but we do have new software which we paid for. I can know when I file everything, it goes all the way through. It's a 26-character code that tells me that they've accepted it's now in your jacket. I'm trying to get back to what I used to have when I used to work for the state of Colorado Department of Veterans Affairs, where I can see everything. I still have other access, but right now that application has been sitting for over 2 years in review with Exit in general because I've already done my fingerprints, I've already done my background check again. They have to approve it and then give me access.
I did the after Mark says I did the process in about 100% right off the bat. But they denied me on a few things like sleep apnea and my hearing, wear hearing aids and all that kind of BS. And I was a combat engineer at the Army site, using demolitions and blowing stuff up. And to me, it's a no-brainer, direct toss. But they took all that stuff back and then part of that. What's the long? The long one is
The
pieces.
Back
Watch out. So I have asthma and all that kind of shit. And they granted me the asthma. Then like 3 months later, they took the asthma back out. So I started looking at all the points. I guess I'm just buttered. took away my asthma, part of the CPAP, or the PAC. And then I have CPAP, and they said, no, you don't get awards for CPAP anymore.
It's still there. It's just they're starting to restrict a lot of things. This started a year and a half ago when certain individuals in Congress said, well, the veterans are sucking off of our tit and don't deserve it. We're not going to support that. So this is where some of those have been here, and it's scared a lot of veterans because like, are we going to lose our benefits? What do we do? You have to wonder about the other problem, which is if you got your 100%, don't vote for America. The only reason I would ever go after another benefit at a certain point is one, you're going to die and your spouse is going to get benefits. Because if you die of a service connection, so you have PTSD award and you commit suicide, yes, your spouse will get benefits. That's a different story. We will go after those Vietnam vets that do it for heart disease. So my uncle who's in San Diego, I did his. We went a little further to make sure his blood pressure isn't there because he's already had 4 heart attacks. And with Agent Orange, he was on a ship that's included. I went after that. Even though he was happy, he got everything else, I went after that one because when he does have his next heart attack, that is considered service-connected, and my aunt will then regain benefits. So we look at the way it's supposed to be. We really look at what it is to make sure that, are we poking the bear and you're going to lose benefits, or are we poking the bear to make sure your family's taken care of? And before you talk, you let Mike talk.
Yeah.
He's got his hands up.
All right, Mike, hold on a second.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, y'all. I just wanted, it's been a bit, but I just wanted to go back to what we were talking about a minute ago with the VAs.
Thank you for your comment.
So some of y'all have said it already, but I am a proof that you can go from a horrible VA in one location, and after a move, find some of the best people in the world in the same VA, in a VA system, in a completely different area. So,
I think you're living proof of that, Mike.
yeah, I believe it. I mean, you know, I'm like Robert. I've had my handful of suicide attempts, suicide ideations. Hell, I had 2 or 3 attempts while in the VA system in a treatment in a treatment portion of the VA. And yet, you know, now my wife and I have moved down to Oklahoma and love it. You know, they've got some great people down here in the VA. So, you know, one bad VA does not make the whole system bad.
That's understood. We were talking a bit about you earlier, Mike, and as having a little bit of involvement with you and Lisa and watching it in real time, I got to say, we're glad you look great. You look really great. Glad to have you back from the dead, because that was horrible to witness. And I'm
It was horrible to put through.
Yes, sir. But you know what? And you got patience of Job. Yeah, I got it. You know, and even Lisa, you got somebody fighting long and hard. That girl was losing her mind. But you know, God bless both of you. We're glad you're here.
I was just gonna say, the angel that's there with you, she's the one that's got the patience. I don't.
Well, that's why she married you, man. She takes good care of you. You take good care of her.
and I paid her good.
It's all good.
We got a hand over here.
Justice.
So my thing I've realized from my experience, and you brought it up, and it just dawned on me, you said it. I've been medically retired 13 years. Not permanent in total at all. Don't know why.
What's your rating?
100%.
I don't know. Are you fighting for the PNC? Are you fighting for the
No, you don't have to fight for PNC. So they'll do a review with the first 5 years, and once
5 years?
the doctor determines, and sometimes it's quicker. It just depends on what it is. So sometimes you'll get PNT within the first 5 years for bone, knees, and everything else, and it doesn't work immediately because knees can be fixed or repaired. based on technology, but for mental health and some of the other ones, doctor reviews it, goes, there's no, like mine, I get awarded within the first year of my 100% in P&T, because my mental health was proven it's not going to get better. It may not get worse, but it's never going to get better. So they do an automatic review within 5 years or sooner if the doctor requested, or we could request it. If they do, great, your permanent total and no problem.
Is that prorated back to a certain?
Well, P&T is not a dollar amount. The 100% is a dollar. It just means P&T means you're broken, we can't fix you, and move on with life. So the odds of you poking the bear and getting reduced is almost slim to none. It's not impossible, it has happened, but that's government for you. Let me tell you, your permanent total, we're not going to touch you anymore. People get touched.
So is there anybody here that feels like they were earned a different rating or have other injuries that have been sustained that are not getting a fair, is that a yes? Is that a hell yes?
Yeah.
Is that, oh my God, yes?
Yeah, my fucking spine fuse doesn't not service connected. 60% deaf on one side, not service connected.
What do you have to do with that? You try fighting it, it doesn't,
No, it's not gonna get anything.
it doesn't.
I'm the reason that was even brought up here recently.
When I talked to the DSL in Rebel County, they said there was nothing they could do, so I stopped fighting. So now
What's
I
your
have
rating there?
60.
60. Anything?
We'll talk.
Yeah.
Because I do that with everybody, even if you're at 60 or 80 and they go, well, I'm happy, let's do a review. Because there may be stuff we can fix. There may be stuff we can't fix. But at least if we do a review and I pull out the regs and we, because like with the PACT Act, everything's changing where they're adding new stuff in, or the doctors are looking at it differently. Like on the bad part of it, they're looking at sleep apnea different, but they're also looking at other things. There's a new legislation going through that they're looking to raise our bases. So right now they're looking to raise the base by about $900 on 100% and severe veterans. There's another one that's in legislation to raise $400 to $600 across the board. So our bases, even though we get a COLA increase, our bases are going to go up because they understand what veterans are going through. The whole purpose is to help us with our disabilities and keep us from homelessness. By raising our bases, it gives all veterans a little bit more boost on our monthly checks without, being different or treating it to be differently. So there's a lot of things. So that's why I always say, even though you got awarded 10 years ago and you're happy, let's do a review. It doesn't take much but an hour to 2 hour conversation and go, no, there's nothing you changed. You have no more due documentation. That's it. Or, well, it's getting worse. You're at a 10. You now qualify for a 20. Let's start moving things forward. Yes, ma'am.
Herbert, you know the medical staff at the VA hospital. Are they in training? Have they actually got their MDs? Because my son Tony.
Yeah.
His own Humvee ran over, fractured his spine. The VA told him if he lost 30 pounds, he'd feel better. I don't know of any bone that fuses itself by weight loss, but I know that the people that have gone through the VA, it's like they get these doctors in training. What is the level of medical?
So at least I can speak for so the interns come from UC Health.
Okay.
So those are the interns who do their last year as a doctor in the VA. According to VA guidelines and what's supposed to happen, over all those interns, those students are in their final year that they're supposed to do, there is supposed to be, I'll say supposed to be, a doctor overseeing everything. So if I have a student from UCL, he comes in, he examines me, he's in his final year, so he's pretty much a doctor. It's just the work he's got to do, and he recommends this. A doctor, a true MD, has to review it and sign off on it before it is actually implemented. That's what's supposed to happen. Only go by what's supposed to go. Well, that's to cut costs. That's how they can see so many veterans. Is I do now. If I request, and I have on my orthopedic on my ankle, I have requested. I do not want to talk to them. I want to see the doctor. They will come in and talk to them. At least my experience. I have actually spoken to this surgical doctor who sometime later this year we're going to talk about a knee replacement. But I requested that. I didn't just sit there and go, okay, that's what you told me and went out the door.
That answers my question.
Yes.
You've lost the 30 pounds, but it still hurts.
Yeah, I would have him say, I want to speak to the orthopedic surgeon. And that's what I had to do to actually talk to the doctor about my knee because they kept running me around in circles.
Thank you.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. Well, and with that, like, has your son said anything to anybody? Because I think the assumption is that somebody else is going to put a verbal complaint out there or talk to somebody in the VA staff that says, hey, like, I don't think this is right. Has anybody reviewed, like X, Y, and Z, this is happening? Because like my grandfather, he died because he ended up getting a flu vaccine through a Band-Aid from the VA. The nurse literally shot through the Band-Aid. They ended up having to go in 6 weeks later to scope out an infection in his shoulder. And they literally found a piece of the Band-Aid in his shoulder. Like it was awful. And he ended up getting, like, he was in the process of dying and we just didn't know. He ended up dying from cirrhosis of the liver. But we probably would have had about another year with him prior to if he wouldn't have ever gotten the infection. And that nurse, I guess, like, we made a formal complaint over it. And that nurse, nobody had ever complained about her before then. And then all of a sudden, all of these cases came in where she had continuously done the same thing over and over and over and had made a whole bunch of people sick. I think that a lot of people don't want to take the steps forward to make those complaints. You really should, because it literally can be life and death for a lot of people.
And speaking on that, so us as veterans, when we go through civilian contractors for our exams to determine the level of our disability. Same thing. We have good civilian contractors out there. When we go for exam, they ask all the questions, they review all the medical records, and they make a proper assessment for the raters to make our decisions. We also have on the flip side who, because they are civilian contractors, look at your paperwork, go, yeah, I did my stuff, fill it out, and we get denied. That's where a VSO needs to know so we can file a complaint with the Adjutant General and get these contractors off the books. So same thing as the nurse, you may have a good one, good experience, but then we've got a list of contractors who basically rush through your exam, don't listen to you, and now you're wondering why you got denied for something so obvious in your records, and we have to request a new exam. We need to know who that was. VES is one of those, and that's, even though that's the umbrella, we need to know so we can get those examiners out of the system. That's how we start fixing the system. We as veterans can take an active role in those. So when you go to your exam, if it's not, let's file a complaint. Let them get looked at. So just a thought on that one too.
I was just yelling, Shanta, you're on the line. Can you talk to me for a minute?
Hi,
Hey, how are you, lady?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well, wanted to say hi to you. I was curious because as Robert was talking about VA benefits, as a Gold Star, how does something like that work? Are there any extra benefits or anything Gold Star families get, or did you get a full rating, or how does that work? Do you know?
Um, for me personally, because Gianni was married, everything kind of went to my daughter-in-law. I do receive DIC because when I went to live with Gianni, I left my job behind. I lived on base with them. I took care of the baby. So I actually get a monthly benefit for him. So that's really the only thing that as far as any kind of benefits or anything from him. Now anytime there are certain programs that do extend to Gold Star families, parents. I have used the vet center for therapy. So those are some of the things you really have to look and see who offers what as a Gold Star parent. But as far as anything, like as far as the VA, everything kind of, because my daughter-in-law at the time, everything was focused basically on her.
Got it. How's that working out now? You and Gianni, you moved, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're happy there?
I am. you know,
Are you content there?
say that again.
Are you content there?
I am content. It's really difficult because I am away from my granddaughter. That's been the hardest thing. But I am. The rest of my family is here. I still live about an hour from everyone. I get so overwhelmed. So I kind of like it. It's nice to visit with them, even though I miss them so much. I still it's still hard to spend a lot of time with everyone. So I like it. I like to be close, closer than Colorado, but it's still far enough that I can have some peace.
Well, I would tell you we miss you in Colorado, man. So,
I miss you all.
sorry to see you go there, but I'm sorry about my grandchildren. It's tough stuff. But it sounds like you're doing all right, huh?
I am. I'm trying it every day. You know, it's.
She was. She was like the weekend. So good for me to miss. I could have had the hug. Damn it. You know?
I know. That's okay. You're doing something.
So how did that work for you? Did you guys get something enjoyable being together again? All the gold stars like that?
It was absolutely wonderful. It was really an opportunity to learn about some ways for self-care, and it was really eye-opening. It was nice to have that time with the ladies and, share with each other. I really miss that, because in my eyes, Colorado is home now, even though I'm from Arizona, because that's where my new life started after Gianni passed. So for me, Colorado's it, my Colorado family. It seems like I'm closer to them than my own family just because of the circumstances. So I really, really miss everybody so much. So it's a bittersweet thing. You get to be with your blood family, but that family that you choose is so, so very important.
Well, you're missed here for sure a lot. And what we'll try to do is put those things together on a regular basis. It's always about money. Everybody understands that, but at the end of the day, it's so important for you all to stay in touch. You're that unique group of folks that nobody wants to be a part of, but it's really imperative in my mind because you all carry each other's load, and it's wonderful to have somebody who understands what living like you have to live is like.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted you to know, thanks for being online. We love you. I miss you. We all miss you, and stay strong, girl. All right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I really appreciate it.
Really glad you just even see your name out there. You can understand what this is like again, and back to what you're saying. 60%. Let me go back to you. Was that good? You live with that? You understand that what they're saying is there may be other opportunities. Still, you took 7 years to get yours. God knows why it took 7 years. My point is, you got to fight for you. You can't give up. You can't just go isolate away. You can't vegetate away. I spent the first 5 years with people like Michelle. Shit, General Graham, shows up to deliver their flag. I mean, it was crazy to me, the coincidence, the Patriot Guard riders, the people that are so intimately involved. You have these families, you watch them, you get to watch what happens after the worst things happen to people. You have to stay in communication. You have to. How do you talk to a stranger about what it's like to be a Gold Star parent? How do you do that? Michelle coming on board the charity, trying to take care of the others. We brought her unit out last year. I mean, that was a dog shit sandwich to have them all in a room, but they broke. They had to break. That may not be friendly. What we hear to some of you, I don't know. It's not meant to be rude. It's not meant to embarrass you. It's not meant to when you get mad at each other. It's to say that even the Gold Stars, the lesson I learned from them is speaking up when Cynthia Gibbs walked into that damn room. I'm new at this, and there are all these Gold Star mothers in there, and I say something brilliant like, well, God bless you guys as you go home and enjoy your children. And she didn't happen to enjoy it because she lost 2 of them, one to suicide and one to a freaking IED. It's crazy. It's crazy. I spent time at the WTU, and I watched it during the height of Iraq and Afghanistan. And when 960 of you guys came home, they put you in the barracks and they told you to just talk to each other and try to figure it out. I mean, go talk to your first sergeant, and go over here and then take that and go for a jog over there. And it doesn't work that way in humanity. It may work that way in the military, at least in my mind, it shouldn't work that way. So there's a lot of things that get done. But now, years later, we learn as we go. Finding the best resources in the country is an offer we're trying to make to folks like you. And if you choose not to talk, if you choose not to take advantage of it, shame on you, because they're available. I hope you're finding peace in being in like-minded company, because you can bitch it out and somebody's going to understand and somebody's going to be better off than you and somebody worse, and some don't want to talk because their fucking trauma was that bad. You're seeing people open up and get raw and get real. It's not staged. A person like Rajani comes here with a freaking man. I don't know how she does that, do you? Because she most does this. She never disappoints. Anybody that doesn't want to try this and take advantage of the service and she can offer, go find out if it helps you. Listen, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose if it doesn't help? That goes for all of you. We're going to break now. Is there anybody online?
Well, there's one thing I'm going to add, and this is to all the spouses in the room, or any spouses online. So you were talking about Gold Star wives. Our services do not just stop at our veterans. I work with spouses, as we call them, surviving spouses. So they have benefits. There's a lot. If a veteran dies, service connected, and the children are still under the age of 18, there's CHAMP VA, there's college, there's a lot of stuff for veterans who have died of service connections for spouses. So Deb, we had one in Oregon that we fixed, and this was a couple years ago. It was a surviving spouse that came to Deb for help. We had one up in Montana. The veterans are gone. That doesn't mean, as it says, we are American military family. Just because the veterans gone does not mean we stop what we do. So the spouses in this room, you have your own close knits. Michelle's done the same thing. Refer them to us. We can still work with them to see if those things are still there. So and then if it's something I can't do, we refer them to the Gold Star wives and see what they might be able to do. So we don't just stop with the veterans, we continue to the family. So your benefits don't stop when the veteran ceases. We just have to look at what programs are available to the VA and the government to continue to help you. We've done it, we continue to do it. So I'm just saying, it's just not all about that. You wives need to tell your friend that, hey, we can still help out even if the spouse is gone.
Yeah, by addressing the 7 triggers of veteran suicide, that wasn't something we just made up. It was something we witnessed, something that became very apparent in very short order. And as a result, we've tried to reach out, and over the years, there have been incredibly powerful, expensive related services. Tomorrow, I think around noontime, we'll check that out. But the representatives from the Marcus Institute will be online. They'll be here to discuss their program a bit. Several of you have gone through it. It's a remarkable program. There are others like that for treatment of drug, alcohol addiction, and other things. Our objective is to get the word out to the military community. Again, the less than 0.5%. I don't know what we have on, but not many, because we don't promote what we do. And the objective now is to try to promote. My only fear is by doing so, I got to figure out how to have somebody leave us a really big inheritance, because it's really expensive to do what we do. Because the objective is we want to do whatever it takes. Want to get you escorted. If you've got drug, alcohol addiction issues, we're not going to take the responsibility for you and let you go to an airport on your own. We tried that once. It didn't have a good ending. And so we escort you. It's getting you into those services that they will offer for you. This dog is the sweetest thing, and he just gets it. I just think it's certainly as individual charities, there are many good things out there. Many good services are being provided. It takes courage to come to something like this. I don't minimize that. The best I can offer you now is a good dinner. So to those of you who showed up online, thank you for joining us tonight. And bye.
See if anybody wants to speak online.
Does anybody
4
want
minutes?
That would be good. Anybody online have something? I don't see any hands. I'm sorry. Anybody want to talk? Anybody got a problem or a question?
Thank you guys. We're going to kill it.
Thanks for joining us. Everybody, help yourself. Go get some dinner.
Is it ready?
So I confirm dinner will be ready at 6:30 for everybody to be back.